arena, como sacudía el jibe, a Chan Chan le daba pena.
Hi, my name is Madeleine Plonsker. My husband Harvey and I have been art collectors for almost 50 years. We collect 20th century works on paper, mostly master works, and for the last 20 years we have been collecting photography as well. But about 5 years ago I went with WICMA, the Williams College Museum of Art, down to Cuba. It was an art-related trip, and we stopped in Miami on our way down and visited with various collectors, and I noticed that there were Cuban photographers mixed in with some of the collections that I saw. And I became curious, wrote their names down, and when we got to Havana, began a search to see if I could find the photographers of Cuba. Cubans who lived there, worked there, and were showing their work in Cuba, and some of it obviously had gotten to Miami. So I went to Havana Viejo and walked around the square, began to ask questions, and found that there was a little shop that showed photography. So I went inside, and they were having a teeny exhibition, and there was a wonderful photo of a bus with people crowded inside, and you could see them, and it was just so wonderful because it was so Cuban, and I bought it. Never thinking that when I went to pay for it, I would find that there was more to be found. I asked the person who I paid, were there any places where I could visit photographers? And they said, oh, if you go upstairs, there's a wonderful place called La Casona, and the director can help you because he's very interested in photography. And I met with this young man whose name was Luis, and he was able to give me phone numbers, he was able to make the phone calls, and I began in a '56 Chevy driving around Havana, chatting with, meeting with photographers, men, women of all ages, who showed me their work and shared their lives with me. And I think the thing that interested me the most was, here were people just as talented as anybody could be that was an artist, and there they were inside a world of their own, sharing with each other their work, and not being able to show it to the world because of our political environment. So I decided the easiest thing, since there were relationships in the art world back and forth, that the visa that you get states you may bring art. You cannot bring cigars, you can't bring rum, but you can bring art in and out without tax, and it's free to do. You're free to do so. So I collected from young people like Rene Pena, from Leisha Leal, and Jose Marti. Wonderful photographs, which indeed I brought back. And for 5 years, they were in the house, under the bed, in a box with lots of other photographs. About a year ago, I got restless and said, I can't leave these here, and I don't have enough to really make a statement, but I'm going to go back to Cuba, and I'm going to meet with these people, see what they're doing, and meet with new people. I was lucky enough to make a contact, and I was able to phone a young woman who is the assistant director of Fototeca, which is the repository for all Cuban photography, whether it's vintage, by Corda, or it's today's work. And I actually phoned her, and when my phone bill came, it was $103 for making a phone call to Cuba, which I found astonishing on lots of levels. But anyway, I was able to meet her. She brought a CD of all the work that she thought I'd be interested in. We met at the hotel, and I showed her who I had collected from, and I showed her which photos pleased me, and we spent the next week darting around Havana, finding these people, and meeting with them. They knew I was coming. They shared their portfolios with me. We had a chance to talk about their work. And none of it's political. It's not about politics. The Cuban people are not political. They are living in a very restricted world, but it doesn't matter. It's about their art. Many of them photograph their own bodies or other people doing things that are typically Cuban. And I think that's what possibly enchanted me the most, that it was not a statement of anger or a statement of protest. It was people are working in a world that is universal. Art is universal. And it's a language that can be personal, it can be spoken by all, and it doesn't matter where you are. So this time I was able to meet with a lot more people because I had a head start. I knew what I was going to do. And in all, I was able to collect almost 24 photographs. They span a period of about a decade, and they show the talent that is there, that is waiting to be discovered. There are a few artists that have made it out and are part of today's photography world, but these are people who have chosen to remain and be a part of their own circle of photography. Some of it's post-modern, some of it's very realistic, some of it's slightly abstract, and that's the beauty. It's also the shame, because I found a wonderful young man on my first visit. He's 22 years old. He was graduating from their art academy, and the academy, which is 50 years behind the 8 ball because nothing's changed in 50 years, was located in a suburb, and I went there and saw the presentation of the graduating class of art majors. And this young man had actually taken a postcard rack and created 20 photos, and his medium was salt. And he created a baseball game on television as you would see it in an average Cuban household, in black and white, grainy, textural, but you know exactly what it is. It's just good old universal American baseball happening. And it touched me because I met with him. I left a note on the work saying who I was, where I was staying, and that I needed to meet him, that I wished to purchase this wonderful piece. And when I met him, he said that he had done this. I said, do you know that there's someone out there who does this type of work, Vic Muniz? And he said, no, he did not. It came from his imagination. And it's an astonishing piece. It's in the show. You can see it on the wall. And I really can't thank Aldo Castillo enough for allowing me to bring these works from outside of a box into your view and the world's view.